Hello, this is Lisa with Imagination Sisterhood Studio, and I have another really quick project for you to do with DasyAvenue's new vintage sewing kit. You will need this page, which has got the cutout pattern thing on it and the sewing machine on the other side. Whatever side you make, that is fine. You will need this page, which has the spools on it. I've already cut stuff out, so I'm doing the best I can to show you what the whole page looks like. You've got spools on it, and it has the scissors and the ruler, and you're going to want to cut the scissor and the ruler out. In this case, it might be helpful to print on cardstock. I did not, so I had to glue my scissor to cardstock. If you hate fussy cutting, you don't have to cut this quite as specifically as I did. You can just cut it however your little fingers want to cut. The first thing we are going to do, you are going to need also another piece of paper that is about 2 to 3 times the width of your ruler. And another little piece of paper that's a little heavier. This is a 32-pound paper, and I'm not sure what this is, but it's about a 32-pound paper. And we're going to glue it behind this line that is above this spool. I want to reinforce that line because we're going to cut it. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, is I'm going to put a little glue on here. And I kind of need, I should have used my Fabri-Tac, but I didn't. So we'll just hope it doesn't rumple the paper too much. And I'm going to line it up with this line. And I'm going to stick it on there. Let me make sure that's straight and this is straight, lined up. And we're going to get it right on there. Okay, and we'll let that dry a minute, and that way it'll work better when we go to cut it. It's going to be a really fun pocket. The next thing we are going to do is put the pin back in the glue. All right, the next thing we're going to do is take the ruler. And this is, like I said, I printed on about a 32-pound paper. I did ink it already. And I am just going to glue this onto my little scrap of paper that I cut. This happens to have brown lines on it, and I loved the brown lines with the vintagey look of this paper. Just a little bit of glue. We don't need it all. It's pretty lightweight, so we don't need anything fancy. And you know what? I think I'm going to glue it this way. This is going to be so fun when you see what it does. All right, we're going to line that up. And we'll give that a minute to dry. And then I'm going to fold that a couple times so that you can't see it, but then it'll give you another piece of paper to write on. And I may not. I'll have to see what it looks like after I'm done cutting our pocket. All right, so now we have our scissors and we have our ruler. You could cut other little ephemera pieces out of here. It's got, I'm not sure what this is. Looks like a threader maybe of some sort. This would work in our pocket as well. You could make the spools really big and use one of those. All right, so now you're going to take your piece of paper that you lined on the back, and you're going to get a ruler and a cutter, and we're going to cut on this dotted line, right? Let me make sure I'm showing you. This dotted line right above the spool. You're going to line your ruler up with that line, and you are going to cut here, just like it says, cut here. And you're not going to cut all the way through. Leave about 3/4 of an inch. So you're going to start about 3/4 of an inch from the end of your page. So again, don't go to the end. Start somewhere further in. And we're just going to cut that, and we're going to stop at this other dotted line that says fold line. So we cut where it says cut here. We're going to stop where it says fold. All right, cut here, fold here, and your slit is going in between those two, and mine didn't go all the way through. It's because the glue is still wet. Let me cut it a little bit more here. I'm trying to be too quick. There we go. I can feel it went through that time. Okay, so you can see my line stops here, and it stops there, okay? And that makes my pocket. And in my pocket, I am going to slide in my scissors. How clever is that? I love it. And then we're going to fold our paper. I was thinking maybe I wouldn't, but I don't think I'm going to like the paper in there. So I'm going to fold my ruler paper so that only the ruler shows. And I think we'll do that twice, back and forth. I might even do it a third time, give you a nice big piece of paper to write on. And one more time. Can't see. And there we go. All right, let's make that nice, and I don't have a bone folder with me, so I'm just going to use my scissors, my pencil. And we're going to want that nice and flat so it doesn't catch on the edge. And we're going to pop that in the pocket. And there you go. You've got a pocket with a scissor and a ruler. All right, so we are ready to finish up. On the back of your page, you now have a tab that we glued on. You can put paper over top of it like this. Now, I'm going to be gluing my pages together back to back, so that's how I'm going to do it. But you could also just glue something over top of the slit. It could be a half pocket or a half page. So I'm going to rip this page in half, and that way I can glue it one piece at a time without attaching it to the center spine. Just because sometimes that gets a little bulky. And make sure it's right side up. And I don't know, maybe I want this page, but I think I don't. I think I'm going to go back to my other pages. All right, so now we're ready to glue. You do not want to glue below the slit. That's important because otherwise you will glue your pocket closed. So go ahead and just glue around the edges. I'm leaving the left edge open because I'm going to make that a gigantic pocket later. And go ahead and glue all the way around the outside edge of your right side of your paper. Do not glue the bottom underneath the slit so that you leave a pocket. And now we're ready to attach the whole page like I'm doing, or you could just glue a half page if your backs are printed. I didn't print on the backs of my pages, so I have to cover them up. So I'm doing something a little bit different with mine. But if you printed on the back, then you could just put on only a piece on the one half, just to create that pocket, and smooth it all down. Make sure you got your glue squished everywhere. And there we go. And we've got our pocket now on the front, and with our scissor and our ruler. And there we are. I hope you enjoyed this project. This is Lisa, an Imagination Sisterhood Studio. Thanks for playing.